I don't know if I can do the intro, so you guys want to help me out? Someone want to have a crack at the intro?
Yeah, Benson, go ahead, man. You're an auctioneer.
No, I'm doing the intro.
Come on.
Gotta have girls' voices for a start, so we can't do it.
Someone, give it a crack. Just give it a crack.
Why don't you just copy your way into it?
Cough my intro.
Yeah.
Yeah. Probably about as good as I'll get. You know, I'll give it a little crack. It won't be as loud.
It might loosen up the flow.
It's that time again.
Watch out! Here it comes. Watch out! Here it comes. Watch out! Here it comes. Watch out!
Welcome to the Courtside Podcast. I'm your host, Wayne'o, and with me, the People's Champ, Vince. Welcome back to the show.
You are so full of viruses. I'm probably going to catch something through the airways here. And I'm in a whole other state.
Just hearing
I feel
it.
sorry for Benson.
And of course, we're joined by Sydney's second richest man, Stu Benson.
Hey, gentlemen, I'm about to have all of my wait staff who tend to my house. Of course, I've got cleaners and bar staff, and also they're going to form a wall around me so that Wayne'o's viruses hit them first. They'll take one for the team. I'm not getting it. I'm not getting sick. I can't afford to.
Well, gentlemen, we have finally hit that time of the year. Super excited for this year's playoffs. Man, what a first day. What a cracker. A few upsets. We are going to get into our predictions. We've seen, because Stewie's been in hiding from us, Vince, for the past couple of days. I don't know. It's coincidence. All this stuff happened with Magic and the Lakers, and he went off the dial. We've seen one game from each series, so we're going to jump into some predictions. Shall we jump into the Eastern Conference, guys?
Oh, we should. Let's head first.
They look like a deer in headlights. No, I'm not talking about the Milwaukee Bucks. The Detroit Pistons, who took on the Bucks today. Stu and I were talking before the show, Vince, before you jumped on, and I don't think Detroit would have stood a chance with a healthy Blake Griffin on the court.
Totally agree.
Yeah, they're not going to win a quarter, let alone a game.
They sat Blake today. What are you doing on that chair, man?
Sorry, it's a bit loose, mate.
Jesus Christ.
Trying to get comfortable to talk and drink at the same time, it's hard.
That's fair. Well, look, they sat Blake Griffin today. Something to do with like maybe swelling in his knee. I've heard reports today twice this afternoon that maybe he's done for the series, which does not look good. First of all, I don't think Thon Maker should go making remarks about Giannis and egging him on because look what happened today. I don't think there was a player I read today that Milwaukee had played over 28 minutes in that game and they blew him out. But it really does highlight, even if Blake was there, the lack of help he actually had.
I think we've seen that all year. They only have a chance if Drummond, Griff, and your boy Reggie Jackson. Still think of Eddie Murphy when you do that. Geez, you've thrown me with your shitty little impersonation. No, absolute cracker of games, and it's just not going to happen. Like you said, if Blake played today, they probably would have lost by 20. So instead of 40, what do they lose by? 40? Who knows? But who cares? It's Detroit. They're shit. And, it's a sweep. Bucks all the way. Full zip.
Yeah. I kind of wish that the Heat could have somehow scraped into that position and we could have had, A, an extension of Dwayne Wade's career, but B, you could have seen, Adebayo, and you could have seen Whiteside. I don't know, just a little bit of height, a little bit of strength, and maybe Dion Waiters with his irrational confidence going at them. I would have preferred that than what we're going to see. It'll be a clean sweep and it'll be brutal.
Drummond, man, I mean, he's a third option player on that squad. Really. There needs to be some big moves because Blake's locked into his extension, right, that he signed with the Clippers before he was traded. So he's there for a few more years, but they've got to get him some help. I mean, they need to make a run at Kemba or someone this offseason because, this is, it was good to see Luke Kennard.
Kennard.
Good to see he can get some run and, bust out a 20-plus game, but they were just so overmatched. They won't get a game. I totally agree with you guys. But this is a great lead-in for Milwaukee to get some playoff action under their belt, ready for that next series because, I just can't see Detroit getting a game. I don't think anyone can, really.
No. I'll tell you what. Kennard is a great shooter and a very confident player who's going to have a long career. He's really good. B, I don't think Blake's contract, whilst it's big and it's locked in, I don't think it's immovable. I honestly think that if they just look at this roster and go, you know what, we need more help, we need more pieces, let's blow it up, let's, build around a centre and keep drumming. It's tradable. Somebody will pick him up.
I don't know. I just feel like where Casey is, although he built that Raptors team, so I just think, man,
Did he know?
He definitely got him back to the playoffs.
True. No, I like Casey now. Never used to.
Well, let's move along from that series and go to the Boston, Indiana. I did not catch this game today. Only highlights. So, guys, fill me in. Boston, Indiana.
Yeah, fill me in, Benson, because I was out today.
I watched this afternoon. Indiana were in it for half a game. They had a terrible third quarter, and it cost them the game. They weren't really out of it. The final score obviously doesn't indicate a blowout, and it absolutely wasn't. They were looking good, honestly, through the first quarter and a bit. They actually looked like they were going to come away with it. They looked really good. Shots stopped falling, and Boston went on a bit of a run. I think they might get a game or two. They're not backing down. They've got firepower. They just had a couple of guys who just didn't really ignite. Wes Matthews kind of gave them a decent first quarter and then gave them nothing for three. I think that they could get a game or two because Boston haven't really impressed me after the All-Star game. But I still see Boston winning the series.
Look, I see Indiana maybe pinching a game, but I look at a guy like Miles Turner who... I just look at him and go, you've just got to produce something in this series to even Indiana to have a chance. And same with Sabonis. Like he had some really good games this year. Would like to see him, at least produce a double-double for the playoffs. It's time to step up in the playoffs. Yeah. And I'm putting more of the heat on Miles Turner than anyone else.
I feel like he's played pretty well, man. Like this year, like this season, like definitely slumped, maybe a little at the start, but it's definitely picked it up. I think since All-Star break.
Well, what did he do today? 13, I think it was. If that. No, it wasn't even that, was it? No, it was about less than that. So, no,
he's still in love. He's still in love with the three ball. He's in love with being this stretch 4-5 guy. I just don't think that's what they need out of him.
I don't mind if he shoots the threes, but get something going inside first. I've always had that way of thinking. Like, go inside first. Establish yourself. It makes things easy for your teammates as well if you get going. Someone will leave a teammate to come and double you. You kick it out. And then, once you've done your job, go and take a couple of threes.
I mean, I think Indiana take this series if it's, Oladipo's healthy and not out for the year. But I just feel like Steven's too good a coach. They really do have too many weapons. And I'm sure I agree with you guys. Like, I'm sure Pacers will pinch a game or two, but, they're going to have to play... They've got to get back to the team ball because that's the only way they're going to win. Like, they need production out of a guy like Wesley Matthews, like you touched on, Stu. They need something out of, a Tyreek Evans, but it's okay for him to give him, that spark, that production for one game, but they've got to do it consistently through this series or it's going to be done.
Yeah, they don't have the firepower or the roster to take 4 games off anyone, let alone the Boston Celtics. They just don't. How
did Boston look today? Because...
not great.
Man, I don't know. I just don't feel like these pieces are working together. Like, I don't feel like the chemistry's right there. I still feel like they're maybe a little bit hungover from last season. They've got all these pieces back, but they don't seem to be clicking as a unit as well.
Yeah, they've got some interesting little combos. They're definitely missing Marcus Smart, and they will until they get him back. Honestly, for his size and his height, Marcus Smart would dead set guard 4 positions if he had to. They lose a bit in him, and they don't pick up the same defensive tenacity when Rozier plays and takes those minutes. They're okay. They've got some good combos. I really like when Kyrie and Markieff Morris are on the court at the same time. Mm-hmm. They just play really well together. I don't know. Kyrie's always looking for him. He's always looking to screen for Kyrie. They're a very good dynamic. Horford's just brilliant. Horford really is brilliant. Gordon Hayward seems to be really finding his feet. I know we spoke about it, and we have spoken about him seemingly, I guess, getting his confidence back, and that's a big part of coming back from an injury like he had is the mental game. He seems to be a lot more on the attack. If that can grow and that confidence can grow through the playoffs, they will come good.
Jaylen Brown looked a little bit frustrated today.
I think he always does, man. I'm telling you. I don't think he's happy there, and I think he's going to bust out at wherever he ends up.
Please be Memphis.
He's got it, man. I'm telling you, man. He's got the swag. There is something in that dude, and it's waiting to come out. It's not going to happen to Boston.
So we all agree Boston coming out of this series?
Yeah, they will, but it'll be they'll what's what I'm looking for here. They'll get beaten up a little bit.
Boston in 6?
They'll come out. Yeah, why not?
Look, I think Boston coming out of this series, but I think that's where it ends. I think that's where it ends for them.
There's something off with Boston. It's been off all year, and I agree with Benson. Jaylen Brown has not been happy all year. He is not happy in his role. And I've been high on the kid since they drafted him. Sometimes he reminds me of a more athletic Joe Dumas. I think, like Benson said, he goes somewhere else, he'll bust out.
I think it's Kyrie Irving, to be honest, to be blatantly honest with you. I think he's
I think it's him and Marcus Morris from what I can tell.
Irving is totally looking too far ahead, I feel like. Whether he's looking, at next season and his situation there, but I feel like he's already... He's in his head. He's already got himself in the NBA Finals or the Conference Finals at least, and I just feel like he's forgetting the process. He came out this season and talked all that trash about being a leader and lead by example, and then he goes and sulks in the fucking media. I mean, I just don't like he's got a bad attitude this year, and it's really rubbed me the wrong way watching him this year and watch him carry on the way he has. I mean, for starters, he's in Boston. They love his guts. He's allowed to have bad games. The team's allowed to struggle a bit, but I'm just unimpressed with him.
He's still their best player. He kept them in this game today. I mean, they'll go as far as he takes them.
And I guess, too, if you're his teammate, you're looking at him going, have you got one foot out the door? Like, that doesn't 100%. Help either. Like
100%. Yeah. Especially if you're a younger player as well, because I think, like, an older vet, you'd still think about it, but you have that experience to sort of push it aside at least.
Yeah.
Anyway, enough about Celtics Green. Let's move to the other half of the Eastern Conference. Man, what a first day of playoffs with these two series going on. Let's jump into Philly, who took on the New Jersey Nets. Oh my God, the Nets stunned everyone. The boos were everywhere in Philly. 3 seed plays 6, and D'Angelo Russell, man, that kid, something special.
Yeah, what are you trying to say?
I'm just saying, something special.
No, happy for D'Angelo.
The Brooklyn faithful love his guts.
They do love his guts. I knew I wouldn't get away with that one.
Love his guts.
Love his guts.
Oh, geez, you come out with some pearls. I'm happy for D'Angelo. I just want to say something. We all know Bill Simmons listens to our show.
Yeah.
Right? He's pitched enough of our ideas over the IPL.
It's uncanny.
Listening to him and Ryan Russillo the other day. Was it Russillo?
Russillo.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, Bill Simmons goes, what is Ben Simmons good at?
Oh, fuck. Come on.
That pissed me off. Like, what is he? I don't know, Bill. Basketball, maybe? Like, I know he's getting at, like, what he's, like, well, he does a lot of things well, Bill. Like, a lot of things on the court.
All right, you could highlight that his jump shot or lack thereof has hurt him and definitely showed, in this game where they sagged right off him. So you can make a point, but to say, what are you good at? Come on now.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. But look, I think they're going to find it really tough if Embiid cannot go. He's got that bad wheel, sore knee, which is not great. I mean, all their championship hopes from this year and in the future hinge on Embiid being healthy. If he can't be healthy this series, there may be an upset here. Actually, I'll pick an upset if he's not healthy.
I am totally picking an upset.
If he's not healthy, they are going to be lucky to get a game.
Well, I think they can pitch a game, but I don't think they can. I don't reckon they can win. Yeah, because Butler, Simmons, Redick.
I don't think you can fault Butler.
They're good enough to win a game without Embiid, or possibly two. But I don't think they get through.
I watched it, and man, far out, man. Like after the trade was done, I said, and it's on the show. It's been recorded that I thought that they were my front runners, but it just hasn't come together on the court. Brooklyn, man, they just are a team. They love playing with each other. They back each other. They do chastise each other a little bit, but it's for the greater good. Like let's learn through this. They're well coached. Honestly, man, and they are a better team. Like, you know, it's a team sport, it's a team game, and teams win, and they're a better team.
You just nailed it. Like, that was my whole point in justifying my upset over Philly. You know, we'd spoken early in the year, you know, I raised it about, you know, them adding these pieces, and then even before that, you know, you've had the little bit of tension with Embiid and minutes and touches and things like that, and, you know, then they turn the criticism back onto Coach Brett Brown. But it's like, can this squad, and especially can this squad, now that they've added all these extra pieces, can this squad sacrifice for one another? And it doesn't look like they can. Like, they are still playing selfish solo basketball at times, and it hurts them. I mean, that's why That's why the Nets walked away with this win. I mean, if you're Embiid, you can't let Jared Dudley get under your skin.
Yeah.
Like, who the fuck is he? You know, really, if you're Embiid, you're on the court, that's a nobody you dunk over, right? Like, that is, like, you can't let a guy like that get under your skin. And he was laughing it up. I mean, a guy like JJ Redick, he's a smart vet. He knows better than to get himself fouled out in game one. Come on now. I mean, granted, he had a bit of a task switching off and guarding D'Angelo Russell, but, man, he knows better. He knows better.
His team knows better. Didn't have an answer for Ed Davis.
Oh, dude, he's so good.
Ex-Laker, Ed Davis, who I loved. I remember I was so happy when we signed Ed Davis.
Ex-Grizz.
Yeah, no, we all love him. He absolutely he balled out, man. Him, Jared Allen, they just match up really well. Like, I just think they must be loving this matchup that they've got on paper. And again, that teammateship that they've got. Look, Dinwiddie and Russell still struggle to be on the court at the same time, but they spell each other really well. So that when D'Lo needs to have that break, Dinwiddie comes on, and they work in tandem really good. And when they are on the court at the same time, which isn't a lot, they're a really big backcourt to deal with, and they're giving it to TJ, they're giving it to Redick, they're giving it to, you know, and pace-wise, they're giving it to Simmons as well. I love that D'Lo is just going at Ben Simmons when he's being guarded by him. It's awesome.
Yeah, so good.
Is TJ McConnell injured, or is he playing? He's playing. I love Brett Brown. I think we all love Brett Brown, honorary Aussie. I think he's a very good coach. But if Embiid doesn't play, if I was me, I would tweak the lineup a bit. I would probably start TJ. Put Ben Simmons at the 4.
I don't know what happened to your line then, but
that was crazy.
You just went in remix mode.
That was the weirdest thing I've ever heard on Skype.
First of all, I thought you were doing it on purpose, and then I was like...
Yeah, I've got a remix button here just to annoy you.
He's glitched.
That's crazy.
That's Telstra for you.
Wow. Would that have recorded like that?
Yeah, I think so. I'm going to leave it in.
Shout out Telstra.
I think the other thing that was highlighted, you know, just the lack of focus. I mean, the whole phone out on the bench during this series, obviously, you know, everyone's made a comment about it online with Amir Johnson and Joel Embiid. I mean, you know, I hope his daughter is well. It sounded like it sounded like BS.
Shit. They were laughing at whatever it was.
Yeah,
and it's just like, man, if you're going to take this Brooklyn team that likely that you can't stay focused for, you know, 48 minutes in a series, especially when you're down, and there's plenty of time left on the clock to turn this thing around. I mean, it's no wonder the Philly fans were booing you. Do we all have an upset on this?
Only if Embiid is out.
I feel like you got to make the call, Vince. No sitting on the fence.
I've got some splinters right at the ginger at the moment. I'm sitting on the fence, but I'll go Philly.
Philly, okay.
In 7.
Okay. Stu, you stick with Brooklyn?
I'm going to stick with Brooklyn. I don't know how many games it'll take them, but I'll stick with Brooklyn.
Nice. Okay. Look, probably the biggest upset, especially day one. I'll go ahead and say of all the first games. Was Toronto-Orlando. DJ Augustine for the win. My goodness. You know what? I watched that game and I went, oh, shit, I think I'm an Orlando fan now. Like, this is fucking great.
I'll tell you what I am. I'm a Steve Clifford fan.
Yeah, see that?
I mean, he's taken a bunch of nobodies. I mean, they've got some decent players like Fournier and Aaron Gordon and the likes.
Big Vooch,
probably their best player, and just got into the playoffs and pinched a game off a team who everyone thought would probably go to the finals.
Yeah.
Should get Coach of the Year in my book.
Wow, be cool. I like it.
Well, just have a look at the roster. I mean, put D'Antoni there, they're not making the playoffs.
I mean, I thought it was great because, we have all these teams that, like, great point on Clifford, actually, Vince. This is his first year with his squad, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, that's fantastic turnaround. But it's kind of that thing, DJ Augustine, man, I can remember this kid coming to the league, playing for the Bobcats, always the steady hand. But it's like you can have a young up-and-coming guard on your squad with, heaps of athleticism, exciting, so much fun to watch. But, I mean, when it comes down to it, if you've got a true point guard on your squad, they're going to get minutes and they're going to show and prove. And do you know what I mean? Like, I just feel like, man, it was such a good, such a great game from him, regardless of the game winner.
Was that going to be your point, Vince, about McConnell?
Sorry, say that again.
Was that going to be your point, just quickly back to the Nets series, was that going to be your point about McConnell, about giving him the starting the one spot and then moving Simmons into the 3-on-4?
That's exactly what I said, yeah. I said Simmons to the 4 and I'd start McConnell.
Yeah, okay, cool. That was when you glitched and we lost you.
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right. Okay, so back to your point. You're right. I mean, and I think I get what you're getting to, Wayne'o, and that's the flip side, is that poor old Toronto are trotting out with Kyle Milk Carton Lowry.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
You shouldn't be surprised, Wayne.
You know what?
We've called this every year. We've seen it.
Yeah, you know what, Vince? You know what? I actually, my brain must have blanked it out because I actually forgot about that. Like, to go scoreless in this series against Orlando, like, he should really be fucking ashamed of himself. He should apologize to all his teammates after the game. He literally did nothing.
It's shit like that that's going to make Kawhi's decision a whole lot easier.
Oh, man. I was just like, you know what? Toronto, you should have thrown everything and tried to bring in Kemba Walker or someone. Like, do you know what I mean? There's no way Leonard sticks around, honestly, after this. Like, he better do so. He better have a hell of a game too, because I tell you what,
Well, he won't.
The curse is real. The Lowry curse is real, my friends. That was atrocious. I don't think he even believed it until he saw the stat sheet at the conference after.
This is where Nick Nurse has got to show some grapefruits and go, communicate it properly like a good coach should, and just go and have Rick Carlisle did this in the 2011 finals. He changed his starting lineup. Fred VanVleet, start him.
Mm-hmm.
Get Kyle Lowry on the bench. He's had enough chances over the years. This isn't just because of today's game. This has been building. He just flops in the playoffs. And I'll tell you another thing. Anyone who gets blocked by Kevin Hart playing one-on-one like he did, I'm sorry, you can't be starting.
Unexcusable.
That's a franchise point guard who got blocked by an actor who's 4'3".
Not even an actor, a comedian.
A comedian / actor. This guy I'm telling you, Nick Nurse has to have the stones to pull him from the lineup, send a message. Fred Fleet, whatever his name is.
Fleetwood Mac.
Fleetwood Mac. Start him, he's a steady hand, he's solid. And I think he'd do a lot better than Cole Lowry.
He produces when he's on the court. That's the thing.
He does.
100%. I'll tell you what. Oh, man, Michael Carter-Williams was not a happy camper. See the smash in the face he got from Lowry? Jeez, he was going after officials.
If you were a Orlando fan and someone said to you, you're going to get 10 points from Michael Carter-Williams today, you're going to go, I'll take that.
Yeah.
10 points on a bloody nose? Yes, thanks.
Yeah, you go, that's a lot of free throws, but we'll take it.
When was the last time he scored 10 points?
Back in Philly.
His Philly debut against LeBron in the Heat.
Bloody hell.
True. All right, well, look, we should flip the script a little bit. And, look, I am not picking upset in this series. I think Toronto will definitely figure this out and turn it around. They've just got to make some adjustments. I actually hope that really does happen. I hope Lowry does, almost get switched to like a 6-man role or something, because you can't be doing that. You can't be doing that.
Well, game 2 is going to be interesting. Let's see if he's in his own head. You know what I mean? Like, let's see if he's psyched himself out of shooting, without hesitation or something. But I wouldn't give him another chance. I'm just going to start on the Fleetwood Mac and you get on the bench.
Nice.
I think that would have scared the shit out of them. I think they're gonna come into this with maybe a little bit more respect for the Orlando Magic, as they should have. Look, Vucevic is still going to give them problems. I don't know if Augustine's got a series like that in him. I think Evan Fournier has probably got a better game ahead of him. He finished with a kind of quiet 16, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Raptors right the ship pretty quickly and go and get the next 4 in a row.
All right, who guys got this series?
There's no way Toronto's going to lose this series, but Orlando will give them a hell of a run. I think Orlando probably get another game. We'll go 4-2.
Maybe one at home, you reckon?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, look, 4-2 sounds doable. I'm going to say they're going to win at 4-1.
Yeah.
Look, another game off them's not out of this ballpark, and they've got to go home eventually. So some home cooking might help them. But I think that Toronto are the number one team. For my money, they're the number one contender until somebody sort of comes along and knocks them off in my book. So I expect them to man up.
Well, let's move to the Western Conference. First seed plays 8 seed. Golden State Warriors take on the LA Clippers. Some ejections, some Steph Curry. Fucking hell. What a game, man. What a game. I'll tell you what, as much as I love Pat Beverly and his intensity, and, I enjoyed what this Clippers squad did this year, I thought he was a little over the top this game 1. I thought he was, instead of letting the competitive spirit of the game take its course, I felt like he was just trying to push the fact, which, has worked in his favour in the past, but it just felt like it was the ejection was inevitable.
I just wish Pat Beverly would just play hard in the playoffs, just against this team. Play hard and just zone in on Steph Curry as much as he can, because he's going to be so much more valuable to him that way. He's not afraid of a big shot. He can give him 10, 11, 12 points, but he needs to zone in on Curry. Like, he's not going to stop Curry, but try and make his life as hard as possible.
Yeah, I mean, what is there to say? It should be 4-0. It's scrappy. I want the Clips to beat them, but they won't. Hopefully they can. I don't know. They had a great first half.
Yeah,
they've got no answer for Harrell. The Clips just didn't go to Harrell in the second half. It was bizarre. Trez was absolutely dominating. He was everywhere in the first half.
Yeah.
So a little bit of a curious strategy by Doc or just the players. But I don't know. It was just. I don't know. I guess it just highlighted that one of them is a team of runs, and that's the Clippers. They can go hot, they can go cold, but they like runs. And one of them was consistency. And the Warriors are a very consistent team. They know what to do. I'd be very surprised if the Clips get a game.
It's good to see Cousins get ejected in his first playoff game. Gotta say, took it like a champ, didn't pout, just went and sat down. Mate, that's some maturity there. We've come a long way.
He's the best. He's a beast.
But man, look, I thought Draymond played quite well as well.
He did, yeah.
I mean, a few questionable passes, but you take those with what else he's doing when he's gunning that hard on the court. You can live with those things. But for me, it was just like, man, I don't know how anyone can watch a Warriors game and not like Steph Curry. Like, I just.
Yeah,
regardless if you like or don't like the Warriors, I mean, that guy is just playing at another level right now.
It's funny, you kind of forget about him, right? Like, we're talking about Giannis being the MVP or Harden, and you talk about, Durant doing things. And it's easy to forget that this guy is ridiculous.
I think after last year, I think he's got a little bit of fire in the belly. I really feel like he's gunning for Finals MVP. I think Durant taking it last year on him, I think he probably would have had it, except for he had maybe one bad game in that final series. Granted, Durant was just consistent, but I really felt like that really stuck with him a bit. And I feel like he's staying focused, and man, it's some beautiful basketball to watch.
We're just bored of the Warriors, mate. That's all.
I know. We'll jump off there.
I'm happy. DeMarcus is in the playoffs. That's if they win the whole thing, which I think they will. At least he gets a ring. And I am going for Zip Warriors because I am sick to freaking death of Clippers fans, especially Marcellus Wiley, who I really like. But if he keeps going, I'll hate him.
Calling him out.
All this Clip City, shut up, Wayne. All this Clip City, Chip City shit. 4-zip, you're out. Mate, they want it. They would want to end this 4-zip and give these guys some rest.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do, yeah.
Well, enough about the Warriors and Clippers. Let's jump to the next series. 4 plays 5. We're talking about the Houston Rockets and Utah Jazz. Man, they look pretty good. They look pretty good today against Utah.
Boy, oh boy, am I hoping like hell Utah just take this series. This is probably the only year I've actually been worried that Tony might get a chip. He better not, because I'll just lose it. Look, I don't think... I don't know. Utah this year have been a little off. I know they've had a fair few injuries. I just don't think they're good enough to get the job done against this Rockets team. I think Houston's too loaded for them. Utah really need to have the better record to get through, I think. I just don't think they're good enough.
Yeah, look, this, I don't know, I think people keep forgetting because we all get swept up in Harden and Harden's stats and what Harden's doing. But this team is built to be the anti-Warriors or the mirror Warriors. Like they're built. Morey's built this team to run fast, to shoot threes, and to run and gun with high screen pick and rolls that give them the option to use Capella or to swing to the perimeter. And they proved it today. Like, they were just the antithesis on how to beat a Warriors team, and they're on their way to get there. Like, honestly, they're so deep. They've got, Fareed's just found home. Like, he plays so well in this offense. I don't want to give Tony too much credit for utilising Fareed, but he is really well.
Damn it.
Yeah, I know, right? Like, it pains me to say it, but he really, really is getting the most out of a dude that Brooklyn couldn't, and even the Nuggets found a way to be wasting this guy, and he fits in perfectly in Houston. Look, the Jazz can't have another game like, a 3-point outing from Joe Ingles. He's too important, and I know he was playing probably to the point of exhaustion, defending James Harden the majority of the game, and maybe that took him out of his offensive flow, but they simply cannot get another 3-point outing out of him. And I guess their bench, Crowder needs to give them a little bit more, when he's in the game. Royce O'Neal needs to give them more. And I think they need to spell Joe Ingles a little bit more with Cephalosha as well. I mean, he still is a very, very good on-ball defender, and I think in spurts they could use him a little bit better on Harden. But going off today's game, Houston looked awesome.
I don't want to see Ingles guarding Harden this whole series. If you do that, you hurt him on the offensive end. He's going to be too knackered to create. Ingles is such a good...
Yeah, that's exactly what it was today.
Yeah, so Donovan Mitchell and, like you said, even Cephalosha, they've got to give him a chop out.
My thoughts on today's game and this series, where this is headed. Okay. Let me try to restrain myself. The NBA should be fucking ashamed of themselves. The officials should be ashamed of themselves. Because it's the fucking disgusting to watch that game today and how they had to play. You know what they turned the game into? Because of all the bullshit they let Harden get away with. You can't fucking touch him. They've turned this series into fucking netball. And I don't mean any disrespect to netball players, because I have a few friends who play quite high level. I know how intense and stuff they can get, but fucking hell. Some of this you can put down to Snyder and okay, trying some new things, and fucking Rubio is like basically playing defense off his hip. But man, stay in front of your fucking dude. I mean, it's disgusting. Like, I don't even want to watch this series if that's how it's going to be. Like it makes me literally want to not watch basketball anymore. I just think it's atrocious what they're letting him get away with. And I can't pick Houston to go through. It's just I can't support that type of basketball. It's disgusting. I wouldn't want to watch it as a new fan coming into it. I don't want to watch it being an old fan. It's trash. Utah do have the pieces. They can't play this defense on Houston. They're going to have to sacrifice some guys. They've got plenty of pieces that can rough Harden up. They've got plenty of pieces on that bench in their starting lineup that can play in front of James Harden. I mean, you've just got to live with the bullshit fouls.
Dude. Today, Utah shot 23 of 27 from the line. Houston shot 11 of 12.
Well, look, man, the way they let him play, Utah players can't even touch him. Like the way Snyder had the defense, it was literally so they wouldn't touch Harden. I don't want to watch that basketball. I want to watch basketball that's competitive. Not fucking hot potato. Like, it's shit. It's a shit series if that's how it's going to be played. I mean, I put some of this on Snyder, and I love Snyder, and I love this squad of Utah. But, man, if this is the type of defense they're going to roll out game after game, fuck, man, I'm not watching this series. I'm sorry. I'm done with it. Like, Utah, they need to fucking wake up. You know, they tried something new. They tried something different. Didn't work. Because by doing what they were doing, they're giving an advantage to the offense anyway. Utah didn't play terrible, but they just didn't play Utah basketball. And, you know, they didn't play how they played all year. And it was like, why the change up now? Like, why have Patrick Beverley show Jay Crowder how to guard James Harden if he's not going to guard him? Like, come on.
I love it when you get all angry.
Oh, fuck. It made me sick, man. I'm picking Utah in 7.
Yeah, look, as much as I'd love to see it, I don't think that's going to happen.
Utah in 7,
it's going to be. It's going to be. Look, I think Utah will pinch a couple of games because it's, you know, they play pretty well in Utah, but in the end, I think it'll be Houston who go through. But yeah, look, it is frustrating watching James Harden. He's getting that. I don't think even MJ got that kind of, what does Stu call it, kissed on the dick luck.
That's what I call it, kids.
I don't think MJ got it this good, did he? I can't remember.
This is the thing, man.
Maybe he did. Here's what I do if I'm Quinn Snyder and I cop the fine, I'm just going to go out to the media and say, he's protected. He's protected.
Yep.
And because then what you're going to do is you're going to get the refs who just go, well, fuck, maybe we are. But let's change it up a bit. Like they might stop the favouritism a little bit. Maybe is favouritism the right word? I don't know. But I would come out in the media and
He's
just cop the fines.
Like, it's a night and day between him and any other fucking superstar in the league. It's absolutely ridiculous. I don't know whose dick he's sucking, but it's fucking bullshit. And if I'm doing anything, I'm going to, and I'm Snyder, I'm going up to my owners, I'm going, give me $2 million. And I go down to Cephalosha and go, I'll pay everything. Sweep the leg.
Benson, we've lost him.
Jesus, I don't know what's going on. I didn't think it was that bad today.
The reason I say go to the media is because here in the footy, the coaches do that. The coaches send a please explain to the league, and they go out to the media and just go, don't know what the hell that was. Like, why is this happening? Why is that happening? And it works. It really works. They should try.
He shot 3 free throws today.
Fucking terrible. Fucking. Who have you got, Stu? Who have you got? Houston, Utah. I can't talk about it. I'm too mad. I can't.
I've got Houston.
We've resorted to fucking netball in the NBA.
Convincingly. Listen, you got to look at other things that the other team really don't have too much of an influence on. And your plus minus, right? Your efficiency, what you're doing for your team on the court, right? Look, fouls come into that, but not a lot. And I'm telling you, every single starter on the Houston Rockets had a plus minus in terms of efficiency into double digits. The lowest was Chris Paul, 13. The Utah Jazz starting 5, their highest of their starters was Derek Favors, plus 1. Ingles, minus 16. Gobert, minus 23. Rubio, minus 17. Donovan Mitchell, minus 20. In terms of what they're doing on the court, Utah need to sharpen it up and be better. And you can blame it on the refereeing and zoning and
100%. I'm not saying Utah got robbed. They played shithouse. I'm saying,
they played bad. They really did. They played a bad first game.
But this series, man, come on, man. Come on. Naismith's rolling over in his grave. Jesus.
Jesus. I know. Settle down, mate.
Well, let's move to the next series. Will make me even angrier. The Portland Trailblazers. 3rd seed takes on 6 against the OKC Thunder. Portland, nice win today.
Look, got to give a shout out to Penis Cantor. Just fills that role admirably with the one that Nurkic left. Who did they play again? It was the God, I've had a blank.
Today?
Did they play today? I've had too many beers.
They played.
Oklahoma City.
There you go. I knew they were blue.
I just said it, man. I just said it in the intro.
I told you I've got early onset dementia.
Oh, Jesus.
Alcohol does not help. I tried to kill it. No. Yeah, look, I'm actually a bit worried for the Thunder. I don't trust Westbrook anymore in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. And I know he had a good game. Was it a good game? He had a triple-double. This team just does not...
Say team.
I mean, they only won 40... Was it 48 games? That's just... To me, that's not good enough when you got Paul George, who's an MVP candidate, won't win it, but he's a candidate, he's up there. Westbrook, I don't like playoff Westbrook, and I think it's going to cost them. It's going to be a first-round exit. I think Portland's a bit, like you said before, Wayne, Portland's a better team.
Yeah.
Well, they're winning it all, aren't they?
Yes.
That's right. They're spitting their rings out as we speak. But you hit the nail on the head. They are a better team than the Thunder. And I just can't stand playoff Westbrook. He's a punk.
I don't know. I think they don't really have any home court advantage. I'd like to think they could get things back on track. The Portland Trailblazers should win the first 2 games. They are the better team with the better record, and they finished higher on the ladder. So, I mean, all things being equal, they're meant to win that game, and they should win the second game. My concern is that I think OKC have been pretty horrible on their home court. And so this could be over really quickly. I don't know. I think they struggle to share the ball. Schroeder should be much more involved than he is, and he gets the ball off broken plays, or when Westbrook's off for the 3 minutes a game that he's off, you see where the ball probably should be going. I don't know. I get that Westbrook is a Tasmanian devil whirling from end to end, but sometimes I just think they should be running this offense through Schroeder and using Russ as a 2 and just using him as a wing and using him to attack. They don't. I don't know. I don't know if it's coaching or trust, but I really think that the Blazers are a better team. Almost like what we spoke about with the Nets.
Yeah.
That they back each other. They seem to really enjoy playing with each other. And I think ultimately that's what's going to get them over the line. I could honestly see them doing it in 5.
Yeah, well, look, we spoke about it before the show started, Stu. Just, total advantage to Portland picking up with Cantor. I mean, beyond the stat line of today's game, which was fantastic. I think he got 25 and 18, was it? 18 boards? 5 of them offensively. I mean, the advantage of them picking up a guy like that is that, you know, think of all those training sessions and practices Cantor had against a guy like Steven Adams.
Yeah.
So he knows what to expect. There's no surprise there. He knows he can use his quickness to get to boards. All he needs to concentrate is, where is Adams on the floor, box out, you know, I can beat him to the ball, basically, which is exactly what we saw today. I'm with you, Vince. I don't like this. I think it's weird that Westbrook has this problem with Lillard that we've seen all year, and like is going. Maybe he's just trying to get into his head, but it's just a bit funny. Like, I just feel like he's got a big serving of fucking karma coming up, which is weird. And look, we definitely touched on it a few shows ago about. I think he kind of clarified it today about Paul George and his shoulder not being right. He did say it was a bit of an issue for him in today's game. I mean, it might not look like it because he still had 20 plus, but I mean, that's just that level he's been playing at this year. But I think that's going to get less and less as this season, as this series progresses. You're dead right with Schroeder. I think if Schroeder hits that 20 plus mark in any one of these games, I think OKC take it. But in saying that, also, CJ is such a hard cover. Like, he's
underrated, man. Look, when I say underrated, we talk about him. Everybody knows about him. I mean, you've been living under a rock if you don't know who CJ McCollum is. But far out, man, he's an awesome basketball player.
He's just got a handbook, man, and just fucking uses it all game. No one could stay on him. No one could stay on him, stay in front of him. He was fantastic. But we touched up a couple of shows ago when we talked about Portland and their positioning heading into playoffs. And I just think this squad, they know who they are. You know, they have their identity. They don't play outside that. Yes, they had the major injury, but, you know, as I said, you know, Cantor's going to slide in, fill that role. I've got Portland winning the series.
Yeah, so do I, and I agree with Benson. I think OKC pinch one game. I just don't think Westbrook. I think the only two blokes he trusts on that team, 100%, is Adams and George.
Yeah,
as you know, Schroeder's a very good player. I don't think he totally trusts Schroeder, and and I think this is why they only won 40 odd games. It's just, I don't like their team, and to Paul George to come out and say, oh yeah, my shoulders, just give me a bit of trouble. But it's already excuses.
Yeah.
Already, I don't like it. Like, you come out there, you cross the white line, you're fit.
Yep, 100%, man. If he came out and scored 38 today and hit the go-ahead three to win the game, he doesn't mention his shoulder. The fact that they're already wheeling out what I believe are excuses already says a lot.
I'll tell you what, don't discount the fact that Enes Kanter he'd be super motivated to demolish his old team.
Oh, 100%.
Oh, 1,000,000,000%. And to anybody who thinks that was a one-off today,
no,
mate, you have not been watching Kanter, and you obviously underestimate what he is, what his potential is. He could have that stat line, I shit you not, against this team. Adams is the only thing that's going to give him any resistance. He's going to eat Nerlens Noel alive. He's going to, if Jeremy Grant tries to hit the board, he's going to absolutely murder him. There's no one on this OKC team that is going to stop him. He could go and average 20 and 15 for this series if Portland utilised him offensively. He gave them points. Some of his points today were critical. They stretched gaps from 3 to 5, from 5 to 7. He could easily average 20 and 15 for this series.
Yeah, he's got a solid 18-foot jump shot. Like, we saw it a bit today as well. Like, I actually think that maybe as this series go on, like watching today's game before work, I was just thinking to myself, I mean, as far as in the middle, they've only got Adams. Like, they rely on these forwards that are long and lanky to use their athleticism, but as far as, like, bang for your buck, I mean, he's it. I mean, I think just wear and tear, I think it might actually hurt them, the longer this series goes. Like, I think we might see a bit of wear and tear on Steven Adams.
Yeah, well, he's going to be fishing in a couple of days.
Well, let's move on to the last series in the Western Conference. 2 plays 7. The San Antonio Spurs go into Denver and take a game.
Oh, those pesky Spurs. I mean, I did pick them. I did pick them to make the playoffs.
I'm not allowed to talk in this segment, am I?
You can talk.
Holy moly. They just... I'm not surprised they won game 1. It's just, it's everything. It's Coach Pop. He's got... I mean, who's their backcourt? I can't even tell you their backcourt. DeMar DeRozan, who's their point guard? All I know is that dude who dunked on Millsap. That's what his name is.
White was amazing this game.
Derek White, yeah.
Yeah. Apart from, I just don't understand how they do it. I looked at it, I'm like, Denver must be going, what the fuck? We've got home court and we still can't beat them. Like, and we're so much better. Credit to Coach Pop. All those dudes just know their role. They know what they're supposed to do. They're well prepared. Do I think they can win this series? Wouldn't surprise me, but I think that might have been a kick up the bum Denver needed to get past them. But gee whiz, they just keep on keeping on. I'm so jealous right now. I mean, I look at our rabble that we've got over there. I'm so jealous. The culture they've got.
I know.
Yeah, look, it's going to be an interesting series. I just don't know how they do it. Well, I do know, but it's, yeah. so jealous. I'm so jealous.
I'm the same. But, yeah, look, they got over the line with a relatively quiet outputting from LaMarcus as well, which is quite interesting, meaning that they probably didn't play to their capacity and they were still able to knock the wind out of the sails of this Nuggets team. Look, I do think the Nuggets are well coached. They've got a lot of firepower. Their field goal percentage wasn't great. And their decision-making in some of the critical points of the game, which could have turned, was just wrong. And, you know, the Spurs, by contrast, look like vets who'd been there before and done that, and most of them have. I still have Denver winning the series. I think they've got a lot of firepower. I think they needed click, but maybe that was the loss they needed to have.
I mean, you both touch on points that I have down. I suppose one point you guys don't have down is, look, these two teams played each other just before the playoffs started. And I don't know if you saw the clip of Popovich running in on Coach Malone's little presser after. Actually, it was when Popovich got ejected. I think it was like 30 seconds into the game or whatever. He got bounced. And, he jumped in Malone's conference at the end. They had a little joke, pound. Like, they're good friends. But watching this series and, you know, just watching the coaches before, I couldn't help but think that, you know what? Pop, the bastard. He's already won the mental game. I mean, you know, you touch on it. You know, Stu, you said they got guys that have been there before. Yeah, they do have those guys, Stu, Vince, that, you know, you don't know the names of and that. But they plug in. You know, they plug in with Patty Mills. They plug in with Rudy Gay, who played pretty well. Man, that third quarter from Rudy Gay, I think he tore off like 10 points in that quarter. Like, Jesus.
You know? I don't know what they're feeding Rudy Gay or what he's drinking over there in San Antonio, what's in the water at the Riverwalk. But Rudy Gay's become a real savvy vet and really dependable.
After an Achilles.
Yeah. I know. I think I've said before, you know, he wears that weight he has now, like, you know, good weight, like muscle. He wears it quite well for his frame. So he's kind of a different player. You know, he's instead of that slasher, dunker, you know, it's slowed him up a bit. I think the game's coming a bit to him a bit easier. Helps with a good system as well.
He'll still dunk on you.
Oh, yeah. I thought DeRozan at times was trying to hand Denver the game. He had his stat line, he played solid, but I just thought in fourth quarter, when it mattered, when you need the stops, and for a guy who's, you know, renowned around the league as an elite jump shooter, I don't know, man. He missed some.
Is he though?
Yeah. Like, I don't know. I feel like he missed some key shots he probably should have made. In saying that, Denver shot pretty poorly, like really poorly.
But mate, you remember DeRozan in Toronto? He had some games where we were like, geez, he disappears. I think this guy might disappear a little bit, not as much as Lowry, obviously, but he didn't have. He had a lot of games where you thought you just might question DeRozan in the playoffs.
Yeah, but in saying that, you know, this is all about the system. This is all about sacrificing. You know, DeRozan said himself in the presser after the game that, you know, he doesn't need to come in and score, 20 plus, 30 plus for them to be in the game. I've got Spurs for the upset.
But it'd be nice.
Yeah, well, it would help. Would be great. I've got Spurs for the upset.
Oh, I knew it. You get really excited over things like this. Like, you just lose your mind.
Come on.
You do. Really.
I do. I think Spurs will win this.
Look, it wouldn't surprise me, but I don't think so. I think Denver get them.
You guys have been downplaying the Spurs all year, man.
Excuse me, I picked them for the playoffs.
Man, you're only just bloody swayed last minute.
Did I pick them for the playoffs?
Yeah, all right.
Yes.
All right.
Benson just had them lottery bound.
Yep. But in fairness, I only started watching basketball this year.
Yeah, but you're not a real fan.
Yeah, that's right. It's one game every year. Is that what it is?
Inside joke for new listeners.
Might be two. But yeah, a real fan if you. Yeah.
So you guys both have Denver this series?
Yeah, I'll go Denver.
Think they'll right the ship?
Yeah, look, only because I'll tell you now, only because they've got home court. Well, they did have home court.
I just think, man,
I don't know. They scare me. The Spurs. They just
honestly, man, they just pinched
they
game.
don't have it anymore.
They pinched game one in Denver. Like they pinched that game, right? And then another game in Denver. This series goes back to San Antonio after that.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to say 7 games. It'll go for Denver.
Sticking with them.
Spurs.
Oi.
Yes, sir. They'll take him to 7. Ooh. I'm not confident that Nuggets are totally comfortable going into San Antonio playing well. And let's see what Jokic is made of in the playoffs. Like,
I mean, he played well. I think
he played well.
I mean,
but he wasn't the Jokic that we all.
I also think this game was also one of those games where everyone shoots pretty bad. Like, I don't see Jamal Murray missing that jump shot coming off that screen wide open again.
Yeah.
But I still have Spurs. I've got a bit of faith in this Spurs squad. I think they might surprise.
Fair enough. I mean, they've got the record, don't they, over the years?
Mm-hmm.
They just... Yeah. I'm so jealous.
Well, that's our playoff predictions. Man, I'm so excited to see how this all plays out. See who was right, who was wrong, of course. How long's playoffs last for? Is it how many weeks?
Oh, fucking too long, mate.
Fuck, mate, I love it. I can't get enough.
Finals are June, so we've got another month and a half.
Oh, so good. So
Dude,
good.
they talked about Adam Silver said they're going to discuss shortening the season. They really should.
The regular season, yes, not playoffs.
Yeah, this regular season felt like 150 games. Seriously.
Cut 10 games off the season, you know, like...
Dude, just do 59 games. I think it's 59 is the magic number, 60, whatever.
I don't know.
And you're going to get guys lasting longer too, which is your problem, Wayne.
Tell your mum said hi for me.
You always go to the mum stuff.
He loves his guts.
Love your guts, playoff edition.
Love his guts.
Oh boy.
Tough as nuts, they love his guts. Oh god.
Jeez, that should be on a shirt, I think.
Cheers.
Love your guts. Of course, you can catch all the court night. Jesus.
The court night.
Dickhead.
You can catch all the Courtside Madness at the website www.crtsde.podbean.com.
/Latvia.
On there, guys, you'll find links to the Facebook page. We're there throughout the week, causing a ruckus, loving your guts.
Watch out! Here it comes. Watch out! Here it comes. Watch out!
Ball.